I was recently interviewed by a journalist named Peter Swanson. He runs a Substack newsletter called Loose Cannon. And he asked me, why don't you include a section on catch rigs in your book? It really got me thinking about what it takes to answer this question. This isn't an easy question to answer. You have to know, what is a catch rig? What's the difference between that and a sloop rig? How do each of them sail? How do they balance? What are the pros? What are the cons? What's the wind speed? What's the hull shape on the bottom of the boat? Where are you going to get all this information just to answer that one simple question, should I choose a catch or not? That's when I realized this isn't about the catch rig question. This is about the nuances of sailing and where to find all that information. Okay, before we even start, I have something to give you, and I'm not going to make you wait until the end of the video for it. I have created a page on my website dedicated to all of the information that I couldn't put in my book. So originally I thought this would be a really cool extra thing that I could give away, like a bonus section of, printable watch schedules and lists and forms that you could give the customs people to say, hey, this person's coming on my boat, and crew lists and videos and like lists of all the books that I read to get the knowledge that I have today. But it ended up being such a big resource, and it's getting bigger and bigger every day, that I think it would really benefit the sailing community to just give it away. So I call it the Captain's Locker. If you look up Be the Captain, Captain's Locker, or if you just type in this address, www.bethecaptain.com/locker, you'll get to it. And basically, it's a place for my mental diarrhea to live. It's got case studies, it's got links to videos, it's got lots of PDFs you can download. And what it doesn't have is one link to buy anything. It's not a sales thing. It's just, I hope you enjoy this. I hope it can help you. Here's some of the stuff that I learned over the years. And the crazy part is sailing knowledge isn't really centralized. It's more tribal. And it's such an art form. It's something that you never really master. So it takes years and years and years to accumulate all this data. I can't even tell you how many sailing books I've read over the years. I will say there is no one textbook that explains everything. There's not room in one book to explain everything. If I had to pick one book that everybody needs to read, it's actually Steve Dashew's book. He's got a sailing encyclopedia. It's a huge tome. It's a volume of information. But really, you can't even get all the information from books. You learn from watching other people screw up. You learn from watching YouTube. You learn from being out there and experiencing it. You learn from talking to old salts. So today, I'm going to give you 5 places that are reliable places to get good offshore information. Okay, the first one is YouTube. This is the Wild West, as I call it. YouTube can be an amazing tool if you use it right. It can also be a trap, and both the mental trap of having misinformation and the mental trap of, going down into that rabbit hole and watching a honey badger attack an elephant at 2:00 in the morning. It's just not good for you, people. Stop doing that. I can't stop. That's actually what I watched last night. Here are a couple sailing channels that I actually really like. Tim from Sailing Lady K, Zero Fluff, and he's also the editor for Practical Sailor magazine. He tests gear, he tells you straight, and he doesn't do hype. If you like my videos, you'll love Tim's videos. Go subscribe to him. Number 2 is the Rigging Doctor. If you want to understand rig loads, tuning, and what's really happening aloft, go watch him. He actually just put a book out. I got mine on pre-order about rigging. And it's kind of a compendium to Brian Toss's book, if you guys know who Brian Toss is. He talks a lot more about synthetic rigging. Go and reserve yourself a copy. You can learn a ton from Herbie. He's a super professional rigger and a doctor. Number 3 is Sailing Fair Isle. Great couple, honest, detailed. They show what goes wrong and why. They were professional journalists for years and years and years. Their video quality and their speaking quality and just, they're one of my favorite couples ever. Super cool people, man. Go and watch their channel. And the last one is Practical Sailor channel. This is a very good channel for factual information and stories. And if you guys like my stuff, you will love this stuff. Okay, section 2 is books. This is what I call the deep end of the pool. YouTube will give you the ideas and a good visual representation of it, but books, that's where you can get deep and you can really understand the idea. Books come in a lot of shapes and forms. There's the classics like Adler Cole's Heavy Weather Sailing, Nigel Calder's Boat Owner's Manual, Lynn and Larry Pardee's Cruising in Seraphin, and Heavy Weather Tactics. Oh, I'm sorry, Storm Tactics is what it's called. This one happens to be signed. Then you get into the cruising guides. Like this is the cruising guide for Patagonia. This was not a cheap book. This was a $200 book. But oh my God, it is so well written and it's got so many good sections on Patagonia. You can learn more about sailing in Patagonia from this than anything else out there. I highly recommend picking up the cruising guide a couple of months before you go there, or even years before you go there, just to learn about the nuances of where you want to go and where you want to adventure. This is also why I wrote this. It's just to kind of bridge the gap between the old information and the new information, put it in a voice that you guys can kind of relate to. Okay, section 3 is courses and certifications. Here is where the ASA, Nautic Ed, the RYA, those kind of places live. Amazing for building the basics. And this is why when people ask me, like, why don't you teach sailing on YouTube? Man, there's people that are so much better than that than I am. And these are the people. This is what I'm talking about. For navigation, for safety, for boat handling, for actual physics of sailing. Amazing. They just don't teach judgment calls. Judgment comes in when you're offshore, when you're on your boat and the wind picks up and it's now 10 knots over what it was forecasted and you're trying to decide whether to trust the forecasts or to reef the boat or to turn around and go back, or, that's all the stuff that you just can't learn from a book or a course. You want to use these kind of programs as a foundation, not the finish line. Okay, section 4 is blogs, forums, and magazines. There is gold hidden in these rabbit holes, but you got to know where to look for them. A couple of blogs I really like I mentioned, Peter Swanson's blog, Loose Cannon, John Harry's blog, Attainable Adventure Cruising, amazing, awesome. John Neal has a free book that you can download on his website. I'll put the link in the description. John Kretschmer doesn't have a blog per se, but he does a captain's hour, and he also has webinars that are available on his website. I'll put that in the description as well. And then there's the magazines like Latitudes and Attitudes, Sail, Cruising World, Practical Sailor, Scuttlebutt. All of these companies are still putting out strong, technical, experience-based content. All of these places is where the real learning takes place, the discussion and the disagreement, and you can go into the chat and actually ask the authors about, hey, what were you thinking about this? Great places to learn. Section 5 is experience. This is where the rubber meets the road and you can put into practice all those things you've learned from books. This is where you really learn. So where can you get on a boat? Where can you get on a boat that's going offshore or going on a passage? Where are the websites for people who are looking for crew? Or perhaps you have aspirations to be a delivery captain. How do you go about doing that? Where do you sign up to be crew for professional delivery captains? Okay, the first and probably one of the best ways to go get your feet on a boat is to figure out when the boats are racing. A lot of the time they call them beer can races. They do them on Wednesday nights or whatever it is where you are. And you need to go down and walk the docks and see if anybody needs some rail meat on their boat. Another way is you can sign up with the local yacht club and say, hey, I want to be a part of the club. I want to be able to rent the boats that you guys rent out. I want to be part of all of the meetings that you have and part of the education system that you have. And they will bring you in with open arms if you're willing to pay for it. A couple of online ways to do this is Find a Crew, Crew Finders, or See People, and you might be able to find somebody that aligns with you and what you're looking for. If you're looking for offshore experiences, you can go to sailingzingaro.com and just scroll down the page a little bit and you'll get to a list of people that offer offshore experiences. My buddy Ryan from SailLibra, My buddies Nate and Vivian from Ocean Passages, awesome people. Andy Schnell with 59 Degrees North, amazing company. Teresa and Ben, who are actually two of my heroes and who I started watching when I was getting into this. They run a company called Morse Alpha. And then, of course, there's John Kretschmer. If you've never heard of him, stop the video right now and go buy one of his books. I recommend Sailing a Serious Ocean. And then go onto his website and download his webinars. Some of them are 4 hours of gold. Just the best information ever. And then, if you're really impressed, book a trip with him. He is still going strong. He's one of the most prolific sailors we have today. Just don't try to arm wrestle him. He is a baby gorilla. And if you're interested in catamaran sailing, Ken and Renee from Koru Expeditions have a badass Eric LaRouge cat, and they take people on offshore adventures as well. All of this, everything we've talked about, is in the captain's locker, like I said in the beginning of the video. The one that you need to go to find all of this information that we talked about and more is the links, books, and recommended videos PDF. Just go there, click download PDF, and it will come up with everything. And that's got tons more stuff that I didn't even talk about, how to find weather routing stuff and tons of information, okay? I hope you enjoy all this information, enjoy the journey, enjoy the learning journey. It's amazing. Learn from everyone, question everything. Do not be afraid to ask the question if you don't understand it. Then you go out and you find your own answers out to sea. That is where the truth really lives. See you next time.